everyone, and welcome back to my place, I suppose. I'm just going to show you a notebook sample that I can make if you're interested in buying one off me right now, since I now have a lot of time to make a notebook that I can sell you. This is an A4 sample that you might want to consider buying from me. So this is transparent cover. We'll go through some of the cover options later. As you can see, this is comb binding. It takes about 65 sheets. So we'll just keep that in mind if you are wanting to make a notebook with me. This you have, by the way, this is A4, so this becomes A3. Just keep that in mind for later as well. So if you want to print something on A4 for your front cover and then have transparent cover in front, that's an option. Most of these pages are 80 GSM, which is your standard. Not too bad to write on, but if you are after paper that's not going to bleed through with like your inky fountain pens, then you might want to consider a thicker type of paper. Contents page I always find very useful. I make contents pages all the time. You can choose, you can always fill this in for yourself, and blank paper, always very easy to do. Dots, these are 5 millimeters apart from each other. This is my personal favorite, which is why it might be in the front. Grids, also very easy to use. Both of these two are great for English as well as non-English characters that you might want to write in. Also good for drawing. It's up to you how you choose to use these. Okay, then we have lines. These are 8 millimeters apart. That's quite standard. For a notebook, you've got, since I'm a writer, I've tried to maximize the amount of space and try to fit as much lines as possible within one spread. So, and then we have the dotted lines. These dotted lines are 5 millimeters apart to maximize space even more, but in case your handwriting is a bit bigger than mine, you can always go for the lines. These backgrounds, by the way, are available for you to download off the website. Just these 4 at the moment. I will update the file that you can download off to see which one you find that you might like a bit more. Okay, and then some recent additions, triangles. You can make a lot of 3D cubes here, because like you can make, that's the top, this is the side, and then down below is the bottom face, and then at the back 2 sides, and you can make a whole bunch of 3D things in here if that's your thing. You also have hexagons, great for maps of some kind that you can use to travel around. I don't know, you could also make a maze, or I don't know, you could play snakes with it. That's up to you. It really is up to your imagination. Then you've got 1-inch grids here. I've just glued these together because you know, just in case you want to make it even thicker than your regular 80 GSM. And then music lines, if you're a songwriter, you can write your songs here. And this is also to demonstrate here that you can mix and match the spreads, the pagination. Since these are very easy for me to do, you can have music lines next to dots, the opposite. Dots next to grids, right? Grids next to lines, lines next to dotted lines. You can customize this up to you. If you just let me know what you're after, and I can do it, I will let you know as well. So entirely up to you. And of course you can have blank pages. Okay, so it's not hard for me to do, especially in A4 size. It's quite simple. And then you have, yes, a whole bunch of, just to illustrate, highlight what kind of pagination you can choose. You can decide on this entirely. Okay, I've just filled up this sample with a whole bunch of lines, pages, grids, and then of course we get to, since this is regular white, we have a little bit of a cream page here. You can use it as a divider. You can print on this as well. It's not hard to do at all. Just to give you an idea of what other stocks are available: cream, yellow, pink, light blue, slightly darker blue. This is holographic. It's shiny, as you can see there. Right? But that's single-sided. This is metallic. It's also a bit harder if you listen. And this is not so hard. Right, and just to give you an idea of how heavy the paper is, this is ATGSM, and this is definitely not ATGSM. Right, and you've got black paper here if you want to draw with your white pens or your metallic pens. Black paper is always an option. This is 140 GSM for sure. Okay, so that's probably a bit thicker. Then you've got your typical notebook paper here as well. This is slightly thinner, probably about 60 GSM. But if you're not fussed on paper grammage, then you can squeeze a few more pages of these in probably, and you're not worried about bleeding ink that will go through the page. That's up to you. Then you can maximize the number of pages that you can have in your book as well. Then you've got graph paper here. Each large square is 1 centimeter, and each small square 5 millimeters, and each mini square there is 1 millimeter. So it's got your measurements up and across the page for you to use as a reference. These are 5 millimeter grids as well. That was single-sided, so is this, but if you want it double-sided, I can stick them together if you like, and then you'd also have a thicker page. Right, this is double-sided. These are 1 centimeter squares, and then if you don't write in English, of course I will stick this in here. This is just a sample, just to give you an idea of what's available. This is very good for Chinese, Korean, Japanese. If you write in those languages, you can make some notes there. And then you've also got this nice thick brownish paper that you can use as well for like some draft of old-fashioned letter paper or something. It's up to you. And then we have some foldouts. This is just some light paper stock that I've used, but of course you can always get thicker and heavier paper. But I've just used this here as a sample just to give you an idea of what you could do. So this, the fold out A4 to A3. So this makes 2 A3s side by side, okay? Then you have the next possibility, which is, that's not anything. So remember, one page is A4. This is an A3 spread. Two A3s make one A2. Okay, and I have to leave a space here in the middle because this one is, that's to make room for the binding, otherwise it will just squish up and it won't look very nice. That's what fold outs always do. I think that's in keeping with your basics there. Now, and you have two A3 side by side. These also fold down to make two A2s side by side. And because these are long edge, this is an A1 spread, okay? A4, A3, A2, A1, okay? And right now, this is the biggest I can go, I think. There's a reason I'm doing this on the floor, mainly because my table's not big enough, but maybe yours is. So you might be interested in two A1s side by side. So that's the size there. And I say two A1s side by side. This is as big a sheet as I have right now. It's slightly thinner, but you could always use this as well. So A4, A3, A2, A1. A1. And two A1s side by side. So that's what options we have available right now. Then we'll be on to the cover options. Okay, I'll just fold this back. And that all folds back down into the A4 spread. So this is just black leathery paper kind of thing, and you can see there's some texture to it, which I find is quite nice. But if you want to change cover, if you then yeah, I can put some cardboardish type of thing at the back or just at the front only if you like. You've got a space option here, some metallic red. You can see metallic blue here, which I've used for my A5 sample that I'll show you later as well. Almost everything that is available in A4 I can do in A5, so I'll go through that later. You've got, yes, metallic red, metallic green, sparkly stuff, and wood, that light wood that has camouflage with my floor, not really. And then you've got this kind of color changey stuff which is always nice as well. Dark wood, camo blue, pink rainbows. So these are the options right now. I have seen camo blue in grey as well, so it's camo grey in this kind of patches. So that's what we've got available right now. And yeah, so this is what we've got as samples for A5. Similar sort of thing for from the A4 to the A5. You've got metallic blue cover here. This binding option is good for you if you want more pages in your A5 book. You can also have ring binders for A4 if you want more than 65 sheets. It's up to you. There also exist 3-ring binders for A5 as well. But if you have one and you'd like to replenish yours, let me know so I can set it to the correct hole punch positioning for you, because I've had one. And but you can always measure yours as well, just to make sure. So this is metallic blue here. We've got contents page as well, very easy to do. Some dotted lines. Some verses here at the bottom of the page. More lines, different verses. Okay. More different verses and some verse here, which is a very nice, like to make it within the lines. I find this quite an interesting thing to do. Different verse here, different verse here. These were from a 100-page notebook for somebody that's requested, so I can get a 100-page notebook for you as well. Also, these are, this stock is not 80 GSM, this is 120. So, and I'm also always on the lookout for if you are after environmentally friendly paper sources. So my 80 GSM was 50% recycled. This is also recycled paper. Not that you would know, but surprise. And this is, that's transparency. So if you've got overhead projectors back in the day when it was just a light bulb that was backlit, you could use that and use your OHP pens on that as well. Just some rough paper, 1 centimeter grid as you saw before, non-English paper, some cream paper, some interesting paper that I have not seen before. This is a bit slightly nicer paper as well. You can see there's a bit of a pattern there. And then a whole bunch of colored paper. Yellow, blue, green, more yellow, orange, pink, different shade of pink, right? Red, purple, dark blue, 2 different shades of light blue here. And then you've got your brownish paper as well. And the rest of it is just more note, like lined note paper that I can use as well once I use up all my notebooks, which is never going to happen, but it doesn't matter. And the back of cardboard, just to give it a bit more support for your paper. That's to give you some idea of what's available. Of course, I can make A5 comb binding as well. If you are wanting A3 landscape, I can do that as well, because this is the short side of A3, because 2 A4s make 1 A3. That's why I can make it landscape. Okay. Yes, and then there's also options like this as well. You can see this is just a concept idea as well. You can slightly see the D there, so I've covered that with a bit of see-through or tape, and then now you've got yep, a hole there, which is intentional. So also some options to come. I am looking to make some plus signs that are 5 millimeters apart. So for the dots, right? For this, for example, instead of dots, it's going to be plus signs, because somebody suggested that to me, and I thought that's a good idea. I'll be looking to make that. I'll also be looking to make dots that are 1 inch apart. So instead of a grid, it'll be dots. A page of lines that are 5 millimeters apart and have dots in 5 millimeter intervals, and also some guidelines for dividing a page of A4 to A7. Yes, so if you wanted to divide your blank pages or just your pages into A7, so when you divide an A4 in half, you get an A5, right? Very simple. 2 A5s make 1 A4. 2 A6s make 1 A5. And then 2 A7s make 1 A6. So if you wanted to divide your A4 page into 8, you could do that. I will make some guidelines for that as well. So I'll make a template for that for you to be able to access in your notebooks. And if you are dividing your page up that much, you can also think about A5, because that will save you half your divisions, and then you just go to A6, A7, which is not a bad size in my opinion. Also, I quite like comb binding as well. That's not too bad, because it's good for if you're sharing paper with people, and also just to keep your sheets together. So if you want to keep your sheets together, any kind of binding is always good. If you want to share with people, you can just pull a page out and say, here you go, you can have a piece of paper from me. This kind of ring stuff is good for refills. So yeah, that's some notebook options for you. Let me know if you're interested. And we can talk about how much I would charge you, and then we can talk about what discounts are available to you potentially. I hope this was a helpful video. Let me know what you would like, and I can get right onto it. Have a nice day, everybody. See you